So this is obviously intended for my readers and people who give a shit. It's been a long day, but I figured while I still have the daylight, I should probably post some kind of update. I don't know if you can see it in the filter, but quick note to people out there, right? If you do something dumb like weld in your t-shirt for part of the day, well, you end up with a nice little radiation burn. So don't do that. I lately have finished another book, right? I'm turning a serial that I used to have into a space opera novel, and so far it's gone really well. It's called Beyond the Eternity Line, and it is a story that's kind of inspired by my time in Afghanistan and Iraq, and my experiences in the war on terror. So it involves, the book itself is just about an escape from a village in a war zone, right? But there are all these layers in the story. There's an ancient imperium that existed that spanned the galaxy, but it has retreated from its place. It either just fell out of power and retreated back to its home planet, or it has fallen, and this has happened hundreds of years before the book opens. So of course, what happens when the big bad of the universe retreats, there's a power vacuum, and nature abhors a vacuum, so lots of war. But the story follows a misfit crew of privateers who are taking government contracts to basically be mercenaries. And the themes that are sort of prevalent in the story is walking that moral line between good guy and bad guy. You might call the captain a mostly good guy in a really dark world trying to do his best. Of course, there's a whole cast of characters. It's kind of like, I guess you could say it's like Firefly meets Star Wars meets, I don't even know, a military sci-fi with a hard magic system thrown in just for fun. Anyway, that book is in its first round of revisions. I plan on powering out a novella to give away for free for that universe, I guess you could say, and to have that out by the end of next month or the month after. So look for that. I'm excited. I'm really excited about this one, I'll be honest with you. Space opera is a new genre for me, so I'm a little bit nervous at dipping my toes in, so to speak, but I was able to draw on a lot of my experiences in the military to kind of inform a lot of the things in the story. So there's, I guess if you could say, there's a touch of realism to space opera. I mean, it's space opera, come on. Maybe there's just a little bit of realism in the story as far as that goes. It was one of those that I had finished the first draft and put it aside for a while. And then I came back to it and started reading it again and realized, oh, this is actually pretty good. And I've been working on the second revision, and it's going really well. So look for that soon. In Seven Signs news, the first draft of book 7, The Heart of the Wasteland, that was at 200 something thousand words already, and it's at 90 something percent, maybe around 95. But that book is long and it is an arduous story to write, and it's going to require a lot of surgery. The state that the draft is in right now, it's just not ready. There are a lot of threads that need to be cleaned up and threads that need to be put in, a lot of stuff that probably needs to be cut. It's just a little bit meandering right now, and I need more time with that story to really make it shine. It's the last book, so you got to deliver. So that one is a lower priority right now while I finish Beyond the Eternity Line. Well, Magus of Gaul is at about 15%, something like that. I have gotten most of the way through chapter 1, so it's got a prologue and a first chapter. And that one's another one I'm really excited about because it is a historical fantasy, and it's based in ancient Rome. and it's a little bit like Assassin's Creed in the way that it has real people from history and it follows actual historical events. But the main character is, of course, a fictional character, so it mixes some fiction with some actual events in history, and it's about ancient Rome, and like every guy on the planet, I am obsessed with ancient Rome. That one has been a lot of fun to write because if you don't know this, I have a podcast, and the whole first season is about ancient Rome. I haven't put up an episode in a long time, just because of time constraints, but it is a pet project of mine that I plan to return to. So I'm drawing on a lot of that knowledge that I got in researching for that podcast, and just being a hobbyist lover of history. So it's been fun kind of mixing threads of fiction in with actual historical events. So it follows a character who becomes entangled with Lucius Sulla during the invasion of the Cimbri in the Republican period before the fall of the Republic. So that has been a lot of fun, and that's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be my next priority after I finish Beyond the Eternity Line. Beyond the Eternity Line is a working title, so that might change in the future. Now, I do have another project called Veil of Shadows, and that one is at about maybe 30%, and it's a story that's kind of written more around the magic system. It has light and dark magic, and then time and space magic. So it's kind of a basic sort of fantasy story. There's a magical resource. It's not a chosen one type deal, but it is a young man in a village, and an event happens where he is kind of forced into the role of starting a rebellion. Or not starting a rebellion, but becoming the face of a rebellion. So that one's fun and interesting too, and it's a little bit more, cookie cutter fantasy. It's got a magic system, it's a medieval-ish setting, and it's a classic sort of hero's journey, but with a little bit of my characteristic darkness woven into the story. So I've just kind of been in the process of revamping everything. I'm trying to warm my mailing list back up, and just trying to keep a steady amount of words coming per day. And as a guy who teaches welding for a living, that's been pretty tough. But things are going to change soon, and we're going to get back into the role of writing full-time, which I'm so excited about. So I just wanted to drop this update to let everybody know what's going on, what's been happening behind the scenes, give you a little peek at the inner workings of the machinery. So thanks to all of you. I love you a lot. I'll see you soon.